If you're looking for all of the key room locations, the loot and things you can expect inside, how good they are, then we've got you covered with our series here going over all the locations and ranking the rooms themselves. For this one, we're going to be going to the Spaceport map and checking each key location, and there is quite a few. Obviously, you should always use your key cards at night time so you can get the best loot possible. A quick like below really does help us out if we helped you out here, and let's jump in. Alright, we'll start off in the container storage with the container storage key. You can see it there on the map. For this one, you need to get to the raised level, use the zip lines around the edge of the building on the side that we showed on the map, and here you can see the landmarks around the area of the door. But here you can just pop the door open with your key. It's right next to the zip for the way up. And there's a bunch of things in this room itself. You can see a weapon crate actually spawn there as well. Of course, that's not guaranteed, that's occasional. But it does have a bunch of these red locker spawns and a few breachables around the room as well. And in my book, anything with a bunch of red lockers and a weapon case is actually a pretty decent key room to do. So I actually do quite like this room. It's usually not too heavily contested. There's other areas on the map where players like to rush to, really early on. So usually the actual container storage here isn't that bad, but I have had a few fights break out around here as well. You can see we got a nice deadline there. We're getting some good nades. These red lockers are just really good overall. And while I haven't got too many blueprints from the red lockers recently, early on when the game released, a lot of these red lockers in different areas of the map were where I was getting a ton of them. I don't know if they've nerfed that or changed it, but you can see good loot in the red lockers generally. And those square breach boxes that you can see, there's one just in the corner here, are really good as well. Those sometimes have some really juicy loot. But you want to search everything inside your key rooms. Obviously, as we said at the start, come during nighttime, as during night you will get a lot more loot. There might even be some loose loot and just higher quality loot. But overall, this is actually a pretty decent room. So I'm going to rank this one a 3 out of 5, just because I never got anything spectacular, but I have got good stuff in the room. But if there was higher quality stuff, I'd probably give it a 4. For the next one, we're going over to the ground control key, which you can see is for the control tower here. So run up to the control tower, run on inside, and you'll see there'll be a locked door. Opening this door up will reveal the zip line that will take you right to the top of the actual tower. Now, it is important to note that there are other ways to get up the tower without the actual key. So this room's a bit of an interesting one in that you can actually get up here with a zip line from the roof nearby and then walk around the outside lip of the building. So this room's actually pretty decent because you don't always need a key, but if you do have a key, it's just easier and you're less likely to get shot while you're ziplining up. We've done the zipline a couple times, and you do often get aggroed from other players as it's really obvious you're just like ziplining up through the sky. But you see, this one actually has a security breach locker in the back of the room, and although they did obviously nerf these a couple patches ago, they are still pretty decent. We got a little Venator there and a bunch of blues. Of course, you get ammo and stuff. There's a bunch of breachable things in here as well. Now, usually these just give you materials. Sometimes you get blue electrical items like processors and wires. To be honest, processors are really good because you need those to craft augments and some other higher tier items. So I'm always running low on processors. You can see I even put it in my safe box there because I'm just always burning through those processors. So that's really good to get. The fact that you can loot other things on the edges, loose loot around the top as well, especially during nighttime, is a lot better. Sometimes you'll get a medical bag like this one. A couple drawers around the room to check as well. You see we got a nice Renegade. I think that's a level 2 Renegade there. Another Venator and a Deadline Mine. You can see the loot in here is pretty good. This is definitely a key that I would recommend saving and holding on to use if you have it. Obviously, take it into a night raid or bring a zipline and do the zipline tech to get up. That's another possibility as well. But if you want to be quick with it, the key will basically be the fastest way to do it. And you can set the room up with mines and stuff. You can always put a mine or a jolt mine or a knockback mine around the top of the zip line if anyone tries to flank you. But don't forget, though, these little collectibles that you can get around the corner near the zip line as well. There's a bunch of things to loot. So I'm going to be giving this one a 4 out of 5 because this room's actually been pretty good to us and has some really nice loot in it. So I do recommend going to the control tower with your keycard if you have it. So next we'll be going over to the warehouse key in the shipping warehouse to the north of the map. As you can see, the easiest way to get here is to get on top of the wall. You just saw the left and right turn there. You can see in the top corner of the building when you're on the raised level, you can see the keycard access point here. Now inside this one is another bunch of red locker spawns. There's even some desks. You can see there was a backpack there. There's a shelf unit which gives you loose loot spawns, especially during night raids, and a few other random things to loot. Now although this is a very small loot room, It even has a weapon case in it. You can see I actually hit a volcano there. This room's actually been pretty nice to me for a small room without tons of things to loot. If you get lucky and the things that are there are lootable, then you can actually get some pretty nice stuff in this one. So I actually kind of rate this key room, even though at first glance it doesn't seem anything special, but it's got red lockers, it's got these shelf units that you can see I'm getting loads of different weapon attachments, even jolt mines and stuff. These are all very good containers that you actually want to loot. So for some reason, even though this is a small room and not a super rare key card, it's just surprisingly good because of the types of containers in it. You've got those red lockers, you've got the filing cabinets, you've got backpacks, you've got weapon crates. So this is kind of an underrated one in my opinion. I always like to do this one when I get the key for it. So again, because it's got these different things to loot, I actually do think this one is worth your time to come in and do, especially on a night raid. So for that reason, I'm going to give this one a 4 out of 5, as it's always been good to me. I don't know if I've just been getting lucky, but hey, it's always been good to me, so that's the reasoning there. That's why I like this one. But next up, we're going to be going to the first of the trench towers. You can see it to the north of the map, just circled there. And both of these two towers will use the same key card in order to access inside. And they're both essentially like a copy-paste of each other. But depending on the lobby you're in, one may have more loot in than the other does, as things, spawn randomly lootable. So although they're very similar, they're not exactly made the same because there is that RNG element. Now, generally to loot it, you want to run to the very top and then basically loot the entire top floor of it. You can see there's a load of desks around. You might even get a little weapon case like you can see that I've got here in the corner. Always check the corners just because sometimes you hit the weapon case. Only an arpeggio level 1 there though, so nothing too special. But you do get loose loot spawns around the exterior on those like consoles around the edges. Obviously these drawers on the sort of desks are also pretty good for getting a chance at something good. It's all RNG at the end of the day with what you're going to actually hit, but you are looking for specific loot containers that have chances to have better stuff in. As you can see, there's a bunch of breachable things here as well. Although I've never actually got as good things from the breachables in these trench towers as the breachables in something like the control tower. I'm not exactly sure the difference why. Maybe it's just the difference between the yellow to the red zone. But the breachables in here have never really been that kind to me. Again, you guys will have to tell me what your experience is. But make sure to open these doors. There will be arc inside. You will want to be careful. But if you open the door at the back here, like you can see there's actually some red lockers out there that are almost always worth checking. I'm going to set up some mines here because we were getting pushed by another team. For some reason, a lot of people like to come to these trench towers. You can zipline onto the roof and gain access that way, so you don't need the key card. I think it makes them a bit more popular than just some of the other rooms where you need the key card to get in. So there's ways in outside of that, so you got to watch your back and be a little careful. You can see the red lockers at the back here can be quite good. And although I didn't get it on this run, I have actually got a snap hook in one of these red lockers before. So it can be quite good. But between the two towers, for some reason, this side has given me worse loot than the other side. I don't know if that's anecdotal. Pretty nice blueprint there, though. But I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 because it is still decent to loot. But for some reason, the other tower on the north side has just been giving me slightly better and more loot. So you see here, we now have the second trench tower key location. It's just the other tower nearby the first one. But again, as I said, for some reason, this tower seems to be giving me some nicer loot than the other one. So weird stuff. This is the side where I got the snap hook in the red lockers. They are generally laid out quite similar. You can just go up the stairs like I am here and open it up with your key card. Watch out for the cameras. And as you can see there, watch out for enemy raiders on the other side. We obviously opened this one up with our key card, but the raiders on the other side, I think were using zip lines to get up on the roof, and they were sort of camping it for a little while. And we thought, hey, we'll just go in this side, loot it, and if they attack us, we'll make do. So watch out for other players whenever you're doing these trench towers. For some reason, they are just hot zones for players. It must be the fact that you can just zip line to the top. But you can see there's a medical bag here. There's also a weapon crate spawn inside of this one. You've got the office desks and the drawers that can spawn inside of them around the edges. You can see the weapon crate there as well. It's always nice when you get the weapon crate to actually spawn in your key room. Although sometimes they're a bit hit and miss. Sometimes you might get a purple. Most of the time you're going to get a green. It really is a bit random on those weapon cases. I think they might have nerfed them. They used to be better when the game first came out. But now it seems like some of the other looting containers seem to be a bit better. You see, we actually got a jolt mine and a rusted shut medkit there, which is needed for It was either one of the workshops or the expeditions, so the fact that you can get that in here is pretty nice. More breach containers, you can see there, we got some sensors and processors. A bit better than the loot on the other side with the trench tower where we were just getting parts. Another blueprint there. I actually needed this one when I recorded it, so muzzle brake 2, pretty nice. For some reason, like I say, this tower on the north side just gave me better loot across a few different runs. It could just be anecdotal. More testing obviously needed, but my anecdotal experience is this side just, for some reason, gave better loot. So for that reason, I'm going to rank this one a 4 out of 5, because both the trench towers do seem worth looting, and the fact that they're easy to zipline onto even without a key. But this one is ranked 1 point higher because for some reason I just get better loot here. Could just be anecdotal. I'd love to know if you guys have looted both towers a few times, if you found the same thing, or if it is just, RNG chance and that's how it rolled for me. But do make sure you drop a like down below if we helped you out with all these locations and actually showing the loot you can get inside. Hopefully the ranking helped you decide what's worth your time and what's not. And subscribe for more Arc Raiders coming your way very, very soon. Here at Arix Gaming, we're two friends who love to play games. You have me, Paradise, as well as 26.
Our goal is to keep the videos as concise as possible by cutting out any of the fluff and focusing on what really matters with high quality videos.
So make sure you're subscribed down below for more videos on your favorite games coming very, very soon.